we can't see it. We can hear the effect like when the wind is blowing outside, but we can't touch it and hold it. Now, the air outside we breathe is only made out of 21% oxygen, 9%
We can't hear you,
Let's
teacher.
talk about oxygen. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes.
Now we're going to talk about the gases we breathe in and what is a gas and what do those gases are like. So what we breathe in is oxygen, and oxygen comes from trees. The trees, yes, the trees give us oxygen.
How?
Okay.
How do they give us oxygen?
Okay. The trees give us
Through
oxygen.
photosynthesis.
Good. Whoever said that, that's the answer. The tree gives us oxygen through photosynthesis. So the process is whereby the trees take in carbon dioxide, they work with it, they take out some of the things in carbon dioxide, and then they take out oxygen. So trees are also part of us that help, a part of nature that helps us to breathe and to clean the air. The job of trees and grass is to help us to clean the air. Now let's talk about oxygen. Oxygen, we can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't taste it, but we all need oxygen to live. Just like we can't see God, we can't touch God, we can't smell God, but we all know that we need God to survive. Just like we couldn't hold our breath for a long time, that's why we also need God in our lives. Now, the photosynthesis is another discussion or presentation together. It needs more details, but we won't focus on that today, okay, boys and girls? We'll talk about it another time, how the trees make oxygen, right? But I want us to now look at carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is the gas that we use to breathe out, right? So when you breathe out carbon dioxide. Now, carbon dioxide is then taken by plants to make oxygen. And that is the process of photosynthesis. But I said we're not going to talk about photosynthesis today. It's another presentation together. Now, carbon dioxide is not only made by humans, but it's also made by burning of trees, by air pollution, by the cars that are old and make noise and they take out that smelly smoke, and from also the other manufacturing things like this. They all take out carbon dioxide. Now the problem is this: if there's too much carbon dioxide in the air, there'll be little oxygen. So it's very important that we plant trees, that we don't do air pollution and burn fields and things like that, to decrease the amount of carbon dioxide in the air so that there's more oxygen for us, okay? Now, I want us to go to our next thing. Yes. Now, every part of our body needs oxygen. You see, when you are doing jumping jacks and you end up breathing faster, that's because the body needed more oxygen.
We
Because we are
can't
more
hear you.
active. Now, how?
We can't
Okay,
hear
let me.
you.
Okay. Let me start. Let me say this again. Every part of our body needs oxygen. So that is why when we do the jumping jacks and we jog and we exercise and we play, we end up breathing very
The
fast.
network is
Because we breathe
breaking.
very fast.
We can't hear.
Your network seems to be giving problem. It keeps on breaking.
Okay.
Say something now, let's see.
Can you hear me
Excuse
now?
me.
Okay, now we can hear you.
So the body, the body takes oxygen to the whole, to every part of the body through our red blood cells. So like I said here, the alveoli is the sac. By the
Can I say
alveoli,
something?
yes, boy.
Those things that look like balloons, they look like bubbles.
Yes, they do look like bubbles.
So, what
So,
happens to them?
so now when you get here, there's a thin layer where blood vessels run by this thin layer in the bubbles or the alveoli or the balloons or whatever you can imagine it to be. And then the oxygen moves from that sac, that alveoli, from the balloon and into the blood. And from the blood, it goes to the rest of the body. And then the blood in the whole body picks up the carbon dioxide in our bodies and takes it to the alveoli. And then we breathe out carbon dioxide. So that's how we get oxygen to our whole body, and we take out oxygen from our, carbon dioxide from our whole body to the outside. There's someone who was crying on my screen. Okay, now let's talk about something that's called lung infections. Now, an infection is whereby your lungs get sick, right? This is when you end up coughing or you can't breathe nicely. Some of you have asthma and you feel that your chest is tight. Someone is squeezing you tight and you can't breathe well. That is when you have a lung infection, right? A side note to the parents is that when children are still young, it's not good to give them cough mixtures, because what happens is that all the phlegm and mucus that builds up in the lungs is removed through cough. Now, if you give cough mixtures, you suppress the cough and the phlegm remains there. Then it makes the infection last longer than what it could have. Just a side note for the parents though. But for us, we should just know that which germs are basically bacteria and viruses, they are the things that cause us to get sick and get lung infections. Now, how do we get the germs into our lungs? Our hands is how we get germs into our lungs. The germs will come into our mouths, into our nose, into our eyes. When you do this after you cough, you high five your friend, then your friend touches the face, and then all the germs slowly move inside and inside and inside, and then they go to your lungs, right? I want everyone to show me how is the safe way or the good way of coughing. How do we cough now? Good. I see a lot of people know how to. You cough into your elbow. You call this the cough pocket because you don't touch things with your elbow. You don't use your elbow to open the door or to touch a phone or to touch people. Hello, Linjabo. You use your cough pocket. So this is why now when you cough in here. And if you cough with your hands, you have to go and wash your hands. That's very important, to go wash your hands. Now, I want you guys to tell me about an infection or a virus or a bacteria that you know of that's been spoken a lot. Who knows?
Me.
Yes.
The corona is very small. You can't even see it.
Yes, that's very true.
You use soap to wash it away.
Go to the shop.
Yes.
To wash your hands, not touch.
Yes.
Ask me.
Hi, Linjabo. Cela nimute.
In the screen. Oh, what do you mean?
Right?
No.
Okay, now we'll talk about what is a virus. So a virus is a type, it's a small germ that we can't see, or but we can touch it and move it around with our hands. Now the virus causes diseases in our body. It makes us feel sick and it makes us need medicine. Now, what is coronavirus? Coronavirus is a new virus. Like it was before 2019, it was not there. And then in 2019, that's why it's COVID-19, it became there. After that, people started touching each other, they coughed, they sneezed, and that's why it moves from one person to another. Once the virus gets into our bodies through our eyes, our nose, and our mouth, it goes all the way down into our chest, and then it causes an infection in our chest. And now the problem is this: when we have an infection in our lungs, our body can't function very well. We get sick, our body gets sore, you can't work or play. And the most important thing is that old people are the ones that older people are the ones that get sick the most, and that end up being needing oxygen or needing to go to hospital. Luckily for us small children, we have a stronger immune system that can fight off the virus. But that does not mean we can't make our old people, we can't give our old people the virus. There are very few, small number of children that get very sick from the virus. But for the old people, it's very dangerous. Now, what is social distancing? Who can tell me what social distancing is?
Social distancing is when you stand apart from each other. You don't stand close to each other.
Yes, that is correct. So social distancing, it means whenever you are with someone, with your friends or with family, with friends or people you don't know, or you are out at the shop, you must always not try and be very close so that they can touch you. You must keep an arm's length from everyone, right? That's why schools have closed. That's why they decided that churches should close. That's why we can't go out and play with our friends all the time, because we need to stay close and stay far away from people, because the virus moves from person to person when they're in close contact, right? But luckily for us, a lot of people are asking, when will this virus end? And the truth is that we don't know. We don't know how long we'll need to study from home. We don't know how long we'll need to stay away from our friends and not go to church. But what we do know is that there are a lot of doctors and nurses, there are scientists, there are things called microbiologists who are staying day and night trying to find medicines to help us get better when we get the virus, and trying to get a vaccine so that we can so that we don't get the virus, so that we can try again to go back to going to school or to go back going to work all the time. Now, this is the answers. I know everyone is going to get the correct answers, right? How do we protect ourselves from germs as well as coronavirus?
We by covering our mouths and using masks.
By staying at home.
Yes.
Wearing a mask.
Yes.
Wearing a mask.
By washing your hands.
Sanitizing our hands.
Yes.
Staying at home.
Washing hands.
Avoid touching your mouth, your eyes and nose and mouth. Your face. When you
Covering your mouth.
Everyone has the correct answers here.
Kazi.
Yes, Lisa. Okay. Okay. Now there's also something that you guys
We should always wash our hands after
yes.
touching a
We must
person
wash
or
our
after
hands, right? Keep social distance. Have a healthy lifestyle. That means fruits and veg, all the oranges. Everyone's going to eat their oranges now, ne? Everyone's going to eat their fruit and veg. And when mommy says, here's some tea, this tea has garlic, this tea has ginger, we're going to drink the teas that mommy makes us, ne? Yes, we're just going to say, mommy, can you please just not make it hot, hot, hot? Just nice and not hot, hot. Then we're going to eat our green vegetables, our broccoli, our oranges, and we're also going to play. Because if we don't play, and you're always indoors watching TV, you're always indoors, you're not going out to play in the yard, you're not running around, that means you're going to be a couch potato and your body won't get enough oxygen for you to work, right? But lastly and importantly, we're going to pray for our moms and dads, and we're going to ask God to heal us when we get sick. And
Must we play?
yes, we must pray.
I mean play.
Play, yes, when it's not cold outside, and when mommy and daddy says you can go out and play, you can go play in the yard, not far away. Okay, so I am done. And now it's time for questions and answers.
Okay, just give the guys an opportunity to sing. Then, guys, let's prepare our questions. We may stop sharing the screen.
Okay.
Yes. The puppets, may you please give us a song? Thank you. Where are they? Are they gone? We hope the sound will work well now.
Maybe.
Oh, they're coming in now. All right, we're waiting for the puppets. Are you ready, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Are the puppets ready?
Hello.
Yes, are you ready?
Yes, ready.
Okay, give us a song.
Give us a song. It's just child.
Yes.
Zepanchoka. We are ready.
All right, we're waiting for you.
Okay. Can start.
Well, I feel good, good, good. Well, I feel good. Oh, yes, my Lord. Because there's something about the Spirit of Jesus makes me feel good, 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 good. Well, I can love, love, love. Well, I can love. Oh, yes, my Lord. Because there's something about the Spirit of Jesus makes me feel good.
Sean, we've lost you guys. Sean, you're muted.
We muted.
All right, guys.
Well, I feel good, good, good. Well, I feel good. Oh, yes, my Lord. Because there's something about the Spirit of Jesus that makes me feel good, 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 good. Well, I can love, love, love. Well, I can love. Oh, yes, my Lord. Because there's something about the Spirit of Jesus makes me look good, 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 joy, joy. Well, I've got joy down in my soul because there's something about the Spirit of Jesus gives me such joy.
Oh, we were trying to blow.
Joy, joy. Something about the Spirit of Jesus makes me sing good, 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 good. Well, I can serve, serve, serve. I can serve. Oh, yes, my Lord. Oh, there's something about the Spirit of Jesus that makes me serve good, good, good. Wait a minute. Do you feel good? Good, good. Do you feel good? Then clap your hands. Because there's something about the Spirit of Jesus that makes me feel good, good, good. I feel good, good, good. I feel good. Oh, yes, my Lord. Oh, there's something about the Spirit of Jesus makes me feel good, 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 good. Oh, but I'm so sad.
Yeah. Yeah, we're done with the first song. Hello. Hello.
All right, thank you. We'll get back to you for another song.
Hello.
Take questions now. Vuyi, you can take questions. Yeah? Guys, if there's questions, lift up your hands.
Okay, Maka had his hand up first.
I know an animal that has the biggest lungs in the whole world, a cheetah, because they run so fast and they need lungs to breathe more oxygen to the heart.
Ooh, that's interesting. So you're saying because they run the fastest, they need more oxygen, which is very true. Every time when we exercise and do anything that makes our heart beat faster or us move our body more, we need more oxygen. That's why we breathe fast.
Because if your heart stops beating, you might die. Your heart is the thing that keeps you going, so you need to give your heart lots and lots of oxygen every single day.
Yes, that's very true.
All right, who else has a question? Anyone with a question? Who's got a question? I can't see. If you have a question, you can just lift up your hand, ne? Or we should ask for a second song from the puppets.
There's a hand from Ubenat.
There is a second song from the puppets.
Ubenati, you can ask your question.
Our daddy gives us ginger, honey, lemon tea.
Ubenati,
Speak louder, Ube, please.
Our daddy gives us ginger, honey, lemon tea.
Yes. Ginger, honey, lemon, and tea. All those things help us to soothe our throats and to help loosen any mucus that's in our chest so that we can easily breathe it out or cough it out so that we don't get any infection. And the warmth is also nice. Don't you feel it's nice sometimes when you drink tea and it makes your chest warm? Yes. There is another hand here. I'll unmute you.
is that Lesonte?
Yes.
Okay, Lesonte, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
When you play tennis, your leg gets tired.
Yes, you do get tired. The reason why you do get tired when you play tennis or any other sport is because you move your body more, ne? And then your blood moves more. And then the body needs more oxygen. So when you have less oxygen in your body, you get more tired. So yes, so with the less oxygen you get when you exercise, you breathe faster to compensate, as well as you become tired because then your body uses up all your stores.
Okay.
All right, Lael,
Yes,
you have a question?
yes.
Yes.
If you get a flu, does the flu stay in the lungs or it goes all around the body?
Okay. So what happens is that when you get a flu, the flu will be all, you get it via your nose or your mouth into your lungs, or sometimes it doesn't even go to your lungs. Sometimes it can just stay here on your nose, like when you have a blocked nose, or stays here in your throat, but sometimes it does go to the lungs. Now, it's not that the virus has gone to every part of your body that you feel your body's painful or you're tired. It's because your body is trying to fight the flu and trying to fight the infection that makes your body tired, and it makes you like your body sore. That's how your body tries to fight it. But it shows that the virus now, your body is trying to fight it.
All right, there's a question in the inbox here. It says, if we breathe oxygen, do animals also breathe oxygen, or they breathe something different, a different gas altogether?
Yes. So I would say all animals breathe oxygen, but fishes and other animals in underwater, they get oxygen in a different form. Like for example, us, we get oxygen from trees, but fishes are able to take the oxygen that they need from water. I can't tell you because I don't know the science of extracting water.
Thank you.
From water. Ubenati?
I know how fish get their oxygen.
Okay, please.
So in the water, there's a little bit of oxygen, and then the fish have something in their body which separates the oxygen from the water. Then they're able to breathe in water.
That's very true.
Oh, nice, Ubenati. Tineruru. Thank you, Ubenati, for that. Nice.
Some fish, right? Some fish, right? They're mammals, and mammals, they need oxygen from the air to breathe. It's like a whale, it has to come up to the water every 80 minutes to get some oxygen. And dolphins have to sleep. When they sleep, half of their body is sleeping and the other half is awake.
That's very true. So not all fishes are reptiles. Some of them are mammals.
All right, interesting. Alicia and Ezio. You can unmute yourselves and ask your question. Alicia.
Why do your lungs end up with water when they're infected?
The reason why they end up with water when they're infected is because part of your body trying to fight an infection is that it swells up. So when it swells up, when you bump yourself, you notice that it becomes red, it's swollen. Therefore, the lungs also swell. And then a lot of the fluid and the mucus collects in the lungs, trying to fight the infection. But then unfortunately, when too much is inside the lungs, it makes the lungs more sick. And then they get things like called pneumonia.
No. Can you stay outside? I also want to play with you.
My game is waiting for you.
Why?
It's about to start. Oh, it is already started.
Lesonte. Lesonte.
Yes.
Is your hand up?
Yes.
All right, you can ask your question.
If you drink water, the lungs get cleaned.
No, boy. The lungs don't get cleaned by you drinking water. because water doesn't go to your lungs. So in your throat, there are two pipes, one that goes to your stomach and then one that goes to your lungs. So when you drink water, there's a door or a valve. It's called a valve, but then let's think of it as door. When you drink water or eat, the door to the lungs closes, and then when you breathe, the door to the lungs opens. So you can't breathe and swallow at the same time. That's one of the beautiful creation things that God made, because if water goes into your lungs, then there's no space for the oxygen to come in and out. That's when you drown and then you can't breathe.
Okay.
Okay, and then with Mutsa Matanure. You can unmute? Yes.
My question is, do the seeds when the trees are when the trees are growing, do they still give you oxygen?
No, what gives you oxygen in a tree is when it has the green leaves, right? So when it's still underneath the ground, it doesn't give us human oxygen, right? It gives nutrients to the plant, to the soil, but it doesn't give us oxygen. But once it comes out and then it has green small leaves, that's when it starts giving us oxygen and it starts taking in carbon dioxide.
All right. Sorry, Leah, is it Leah? Leah's hand is up.
I want to ask a question. If there's no trees around us, what happens?
If there's no trees around us, okay. So if we would kill all the trees, okay, if we would kill all the trees and all of them, we cut them down, we remove all of the grass, then what would happen is that our air would have a lot of carbon dioxide, and then we wouldn't be able to breathe properly because there's no oxygen in the air. That is the honest truth. That is why we should try and plant trees. We should keep our gardens nice and clean, and we should always try and not have air pollution.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leah.
All right. Tine, is your hand up again?
Yeah.
And then there was a question on how do we get coronavirus away from the lungs? How do we take coronavirus away from the lungs?
Okay. How we take away, so coronavirus doesn't only stay in the lungs, right? Because of because of our bodies, it doesn't only stay in the lungs, but it mostly affects our lungs. Now, what happens is that our body tries to fight. Our body has something that's called an immune system. An immune system is the soldiers of the bodies, ne? That's why we must eat our fruits and vegetables so that our soldiers are strong. So our body fights the virus through our soldiers, so the immune system. And then it fights and then it fights and then it takes away all the mucus in the lungs, and then it takes away all of the infection in the lungs, and that's how we end up taking away the virus. Then the virus fights, then they have a war, and then after 14 days, the body has overcome the virus and now you're back and healthy. That's if your body has strong immune system.
All right. Lesonte, you have a question? Lesonte?
No, I don't have a question.
Okay, let's let's ask the puppets to give us a song, right? Are they ready? You can ask another question if you still have a question. Magabongo, why are you wiping your forehead with that?
Thank you.
There's a question.
Who has a question?
Why they were just raising his hands.
Why does people need to cut trees to make paper?
That's a very good question. Maybe we should just recycle paper because you know you can get paper from paper and recycle it. But people use trees because that's how they have manufactured it. That's how we manufacture paper. But maybe we should start recycling and start collecting papers and collecting plastics so that not a lot of trees needs to be cut.
Okay.
So that we have better oxygen in the air.
Are the puppets ready?
Thank you.
Please tell me. Who else has a question? Nesu. Ask your question. I saw your hands up, guys. Yes?
What happens if all of the leaves in the world fall down of all of the trees?
That means then the trees won't give us oxygen anymore and we'll suffocate. We'll die.
So don't destroy trees, yeah?
No littering, no destroying trees.
Can anyone?
I have a question.
I can't see the puppets. Are they gone? Oh, it seems they are gone. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, what's your question?
Was that a picture of a fat tree? Make it that C and the 0 and the 2.
Which one, boy?
The picture that will show us about oxygen.
Okay, let me try go to it.
Shane is back.
You're talking about this one?
Yes.
So you're asking what CO2 is?
Uh-huh.
CO2 is the abbreviation of carbon dioxide. There's something called a periodic table where they call it.
Dr. Shep.
Okay, you're back. Please set up so if you're ready.
Yes, gonna do. Yes, we'll do our last song.
All right. If you're ready, let me know.
Okay.
All right. Were you taking a question, Vuyi?
Yes, I'm not sure if he's covered Utawange.
Okay, who else has a question? So, guys, are we done with the question?
I think so. Oh, there's one question from Ubenati.
Ubenati.
I don't have a question, but I do know where the puppets are.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I've seen them. I've seen them. Pilasi Mtembo, was your hand up?
There's a
Yes.
hand.
You have a question?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, ask your question then.
Is this gonna be every Sabbath?
Yes, Pila.
We are trying to have programs every
My name
Your name is?
Joey, not Pelosi.
Okay,
It's my
so,
son's name.
oh, okay. Sorry, Joey.
So when you're looking,
Yes.
they should put your name on the platform. They can just change it to your name, right? So that
Are we gonna see you next week, Joey?
Yeah. Yes.
There's a hand up from
bring somebody else.
Robson.
We're going to bring somebody else next week for the program, right?
Robson, do you have your hand up?
Who has a hand up? So if somebody has a damaged lung or something, can lungs be operated? Or can you
Yes.
one lung and you remain with one lung?
You can live with one lung.
And
yes, you can live with one lung. But it's
Do you
a
need to have
very
a specific?
It's what?
Sorry?
Do you need to have a specific lung?
Yes, so you'll need to get tested that the blood is the same. Oh, I hear your question too. Do you have your right or your left lung? No, it's not specific whether it's your right or your left.
Isn't the right lung shaped like it's supposed to be on the right, like the right door of a car?
The only difference between the right and the left lung is, yes, they do have a different shape, because on your left, you also have your liver right below the lungs, below the diaphragm. So they have more of a dome shape underneath. And they may have more of, it's called a langular, yeah. But the shape is just to fit your body. So our lungs are not all the same, but they have about the same kind of structure, because underneath your left lung, there's the liver. So there's need to be some space for the liver. And on the right side, it's more flat. But the biggest difference for this audience is we have different lobes.
Okay. Are the puppets ready?
Yeah.
Shane, are you ready?
Yes, we're ready.
Okay, you may give us the song then.
Okay.
One, two, three, four.
Everybody stop. Listen and propose. What we gonna say? Can impact the world. As we are, we can make a change. Jesus has a plan for every boy and girl. Let us check ourselves. We're thinking and we think. If we check ourselves, we can change Africa. We can change Africa. We can change the world with a new Africa. We can impact the world. African children, we are special importance. African children, we can make a change. African children, we are special importance. African children, we We can change Africa. We can change the world with the new Africa. We can change the world. African children, make a change. African children, we have special importance. African children, we can impact the world. African children, we have special importance. African children, we can make a change. African children, we have special importance. African children, impact the world. African children, African children, African children, African children, African children, we are special importance. African children, we can make a change. African children, we are special importance. African children, we can impact the world. African children, we are special importance. African children, we can make a change. African children, we are special importance. African children, we can impact the world.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.